Sue Lannin joins us now with an update on the market. Sue, what's been happening?
Well, business leaders have called for certainty after Kevin Rudd resigned as Foreign Minister. Now, the ABC's been told that Mr Rudd has been sounding out business leaders for some time, both here and overseas, over what he would be like as Prime Minister. The major employer group, the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, says the turmoil in the Labor Party is stopping the federal government from running the country.
The business community will be, I think, very frustrated that the leadership instability is really taking a lot of focus off the important business of government. And whilst none of us know how this will ultimately resolve itself or when, this is a situation which has got worse in the last 24 hours. Hopefully it's a situation that needs to get worse before it gets better, but it needs to be resolved. There is important work for governments. Today, ministers, the public service, ministerial officers will all be distracted. That's very poor for public policy making and the economy, and business people are going to get on with a job, but the government that they need to run the country effectively is distracted.
Now, there's been little reaction to the Labor Party turmoil on financial markets. Global markets are lower because of disappointing economic data out of Europe and China. Banks and miners have pulled down the local market. The ASX 200 off about 0.5%. Now, looking at some profit results, an Insurance Australia group jumped 8%. That's after its first half profit beat expectations. Fairfax Media's interim results fell by nearly half, and David Jones is higher after saying sales improved in December and January. Now, looking at the US, and stocks fell back after those weak figures on business activity in Europe and China. The Dow Jones index lost nearly 0.25%. Having a look at Europe, and attention shifted from Greece to those economic figures. Now, they showed that services and manufacturing industries contracted in Europe, and that's renewed fears about a Eurozone recession. The FT 100 in London fell 12 points. Looking at commodities now, spot gold jumped again to a 3-month high, and West Texas crude oil higher after Iran denied access to UN nuclear inspectors. Now to currencies, the Australian dollar dropped overnight on that weak economic data. There was little reaction last night after Kevin Rudd resigned. The currency rose slightly. It's now buying around 106.2 US cents. Now, the big insurer, Insurance Australia Group, says half-year profit is lower, mainly because of a record number of natural disaster claims. IAG says net profit for the 6 months to the end of December fell 11% to $144 million. The company says disasters like the floods in Thailand and storms here significantly increased IAG's own insurance cost. IAG boss Mike Wilkins says the result was a good one in a tough operating environment. Investors will get a dividend of 5 cents a share, fully franked. And staying on profit results, in the airline, Virgin Australia says first half profit has more than doubled thanks to more government and business customers. Now, net profit for the 6 months to the end of December came in at $52 million. It was nearly $24 million for the same time last year. Now, Virgin says a big increase in revenue from corporate and government clients boosted the numbers. Profit may have jumped, but investors get no dividend payout. Virgin will also change its structure so it can attract more foreign investment. Let's go back overseas, and the ratings agency Fitch has cut its long-term credit rating on Greece's foreign debt. The investment ranking was dropped 2 notches from CCC to C. Fitch says the downgrade follows the $170 billion bailout of Greece. It's concerned about the plan for private bond investors to have the value of their Greek government bonds written down by just over half. Fitch says it would consider the write-downs on the bonds a default. It also describes the plan as coercive on the private bondholders. And US President Barack Obama is planning to cut corporate tax as part of his push for tax reform. He wants to cut the rate from 35% to 28% and close loopholes. The plan reportedly doesn't include overhauls of personal taxes. The Republicans also want to lower tax rates, but Mr. Obama's tax plan is believed to have little chance of passing Congress. And AirAsia, Southeast Asia's largest budget carrier, says annual profit fell by half last year. That was pulled down by higher fuel costs. Net profit for 2011 fell to $175 million. Revenue, though, was up 13%. The boss of the Malaysian-based airline, Tony Fernandez, says the results are positive given the challenging global environment. He says the drop in profit was a result of foreign exchange conversions and a deferred tax payment.